Hey everybody! Today I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what I do when I make kaleidoscopes. Let me just slip my hand in the handle of my camera. These are some kaleidoscopes I made last year. And I made these as samples for a man that is a vendor at the Renaissance Fair. I was going to have him sell my kaleidoscopes through one of his booths, but it didn't work out for a couple reasons. First reason, he has a very narrow profit margin, and if he were to have bought them wholesale from me, he just wouldn't have been able to pay what I need to get for them to be a fair price. And B, if he were to have put them on consignment in his shops, they would have been handled, and the fact that they're fabric and art paper, he felt that they would get shop worn and damaged really easily, and he didn't want to take that on because he felt he would just be having to reimburse me for them at the end of the season if they didn't sell. So that's not a problem for me. I have an Etsy store. I'm going to start listing them on my Etsy store. I've got a box of kits. I've got 10 more kits. And I've got an orphan tube that I don't have enough innards, so to speak, for. I'm hoping to get some more kits, get about 24 up within the next couple months. I want to start working on building more kaleidoscopes between pocket letters. So this is something else for me to get done. I used to sell the scopes, and I made a whole bunch of them a while back. I forget how many years ago. Sold them all around the holidays to one person made a huge order of kaleidoscopes. That's basically all they gave for Christmas to people was kaleidoscopes. And after that, I was on such a tight deadline, having to make so many, it became like an assembly line, and I got a little bit burned out on kaleidoscopes, so I really haven't made more since then. But now I'm interested in it again. So I'm going to show you guys what my kaleidoscopes are. So first of all, I'm going to show the kit I use. I get a kit from a supplier. You have a basic cardboard tube. Okay. Then you have end caps, polished brass end caps. And then you have the glass lenses. And then they come with some objects, which I don't use these objects really. I have other objects I put in the chambers. And then they also have the mirrors, which are very, very high quality mirrors. That's why I like these kits. The lenses and the mirrors are top notch. They're what's called front surface mirrors, and they're very precisely cut and very well cut. So the kits are great because of the mirror, the lenses, and the hardware. And then it's up to you to do whatever you want with this tube. I used to make polymer clay covered tubes, but that didn't work out good for a few reasons. One, they're very heavy. Two, shipping them, I noticed some of them would crack, especially if I was shipping them from one part of the country to another, where they would go from one humidity level to another, different elevations. Something about the polymer clay on the cardboard just wasn't as stable as I liked. So I quit doing polymer clay and started doing art paper. And when I make kaleidoscopes, I like to take some paper and embellish the paper. This one is a water marbled pattern paper that I've gone back and embossed over with some gold. I like to use fabric on some of them, art paper, handmade paper. I want to get into making my own designs, maybe some watercolor effects if I can figure out how to properly seal them. But on to the scopes themselves. So I'll make the paper and the outside. That's just part of it. That's the initial part. And then it's time to pick the objects for the object chamber. And this you can see through the frosted glass is the object chamber. And I like to pick things that go with the exterior so that when you look through the lens, what you're seeing is going to evoke a feeling or an emotion that kind of goes with the outside. This one, rainbow tie-dye. I wanted a lot of color in this one and just a happy scope. So I put all the colors of the rainbow, and I really packed that object chamber as tight as I could to where it would still tumble. But so there's not going to be a lot of blank space, and it's not going to be very airy. So I'm going to try to film the best I can through here. Okay, and that's the inside of this kaleidoscope. Now, what you're seeing is a basic 3-mirror traditional kaleidoscope configuration. There's 3 mirrors arranged in a triangle. You get reflections against reflections against reflections. And you turn the tube and the objects tumble in the chamber and you get a different image. And then you can shake the scope and it kind of redistributes the objects and packs them in and you get something totally different. And like I said, this is a traditional kaleidoscope pattern when you see through the lens. This one is with the 3 mirrors. I also make mandala kaleidoscopes, which are done quite a bit differently on the inside. I don't have any mandala scopes out right now to show you guys. The only ones I have right now are my personal ones for my collection. All the ones that I made, the extras have been long sold. But to do a mandala kaleidoscope requires a little bit of geometry and math. But this is what you think of when you think of a basic kaleidoscope pattern. And then an example of how the different images can evoke a different feeling. This one is very feminine, girly. It's fabric on the outside, and it's roses and daisies and pink and princessy. And I didn't put as much in the chamber. I wanted more of an open, airy look, and I wanted it to be almost like a field of flowers. So I picked objects to go in the chamber that really went with the outside. So you can see this is kind of a very feminine rose garden effect when you look through it. Yeah, see, lots of curly cues and swirls and the pastels and very flowery. I'm going to shape this one a little and see if I can get... See, that looks like rose. Oh, see that? And you see, how I do this when I pick what I'm putting inside it to really evoke something. And to me, this is very feminine and girly and soft. And then this next one that I made, it's kind of a marbled paper with a little bit of shimmer on it. I wanted something very subtle and relaxing and muted, and I picked very faint colors: greens, blues, browns, grays, yellows, golds. And this one just gives a very peaceful, this one is very relaxing. And, you see this, and to me, that's kind of relaxing to look at. It's very, very subtle, very soft, almost reminds me of water for some reason. And maybe the sky. And then this one is just really neat batik paper from India. I really like using these handmade Indian papers. They're really good quality, and they make a really pretty scope if you want to display it, or even just, to hold it. The paper feels nice. And this one I made, excuse me, I picked rich jewel colors, and it turned out looking very Christmassy. It's a lot of red and green, and I wasn't thinking Christmas when I was building this one, but once it was done, it has a very Christmas feel to it, which is kind of neat. It looks almost like, flower wreaths there. So, and it looks almost like little hearts in there. So to me, this one is almost a holiday scope, and it's kind of got that gold on it. And the last one I've got made, kind of a fake alligator paper. This is something you'd cover a box or a book with. And I just wanted a basic multicolor. You can see that's one set of colors, and then I'm going to tumble it, and we're going to get some red in, and I'm going to tumble it, and we're going to get some of the tan in, and the purple, and I'm going to shake it, and we've got something totally different. So let me find a nice little, okay, that's a nice little picture to hold on it while I talk some more. So kaleidoscopes, I totally geek out over kaleidoscopes, okay? Absolutely geek out over kaleidoscopes. The reason why they're art and science combined. The art is decorating the tubes. That is art in and of itself, you know. And then picking out the image, the little bits to go in the object chamber to make the image is also a form of art. But then there's also the science, the building of the mirrors on the inside, especially if you're doing a mandala, getting your geometry right. And fortunately, I sucked at algebra, but I was really good at geometry. So doing the mandalas is something I can do. And you combine art and science, and you get something. To me, the magic of kaleidoscopes, you have this little piece of art that's only for your eye, and you turn it, it's gone. It's something new. It's art that's transitory and evolving and constantly changing, and it's fleeting. So to me, that's kind of magical. And like I said, I absolutely geek out over kaleidoscopes. So this is what I make. There's many other ways to make kaleidoscopes. There are many kaleidoscope artists out there that just do amazing, amazing work. This is how I do it. This is my interpretation of kaleidoscopes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed looking at what I do. And when I get into making some more of these, I think I'll probably do a process video showing start to finish how I make a scope. So see you guys next time.